From September 25th onwards, events will occur that will completely change the world as we know it. It's the beginning of a new Shemitah cycle, and this is what some people claim will cause a change. And we have to give our attention to September of this year. For the Hebrews, 2022 is a Shemitah year, that is, it's a sabbatical year, which closes a 7-year cycle. The Shemitah years, in addition to being sacred, are also closely connected with economic and financial, but also more broadly systemic collapses. A typical example is Bretton Woods, which brought about the transformation of the global economic and financial order, heralding the collapse of the British Empire and the rise of the American Empire. Bretton Woods was designed in the summer of 1944 on the approach of Shemitah. It was ratified by the U.S. Congress in the middle of Shemitah in the summer of 1945. It went into effect after the end of the war, in the wake of the Shemitah, and it was effectively cancelled August 15, 1971, a year before the new Shemitah that led to the crash of 1973. The current Shemitah began September 7, 2001 and ends September 26, 2022, more precisely at sunset on the 25th of September 2022. That 2022 is a milestone year. No one can dispute it, and as it seems, the importance of the month of September cannot be disputed either. The month of September is Rosh Hashanah, Invictus in the Christian Orthodox Church. 1 year after Shemitah began and a few days before it ended, Liz Truss was sworn in as Prime Minister of the UK, and 2 days later, the death of Queen Elizabeth was announced. Her funeral was set for the 19th of the month, and Charles III extended the mourning for 7 additional days after the funeral, that is, until, yes, you guessed it, until the 25th, 26th of September. To preempt some, I'll remind you the writer says that those who ask you almost compel you to be rational, live and act on the basis of mysticism, parapsychology, astrology, numerology, and everything else supposedly contrary to right reason. I have no way of knowing if there will be any disruptive event during the 2 days of September 25th, 26th or earlier, but I'm sure that after the end of the mourning period for the death of Queen Elizabeth II, world developments will run with a speed now unimaginable. In the aftermath of the Shemitah, we will experience the total collapse of the world as we know it, some claim. Don't forget that Elizabeth was the most iconic figure of the post-war Anglo-Saxon Empire. Her reign for 70 years, 7 plus 0 equals 7, and 214 days, 2 plus 1 plus 4 equals 7, and she died at the end of a 7-year cycle. On a symbolic level, her death could symbolize the death of the Anglo-Saxon Empire as it was expressed throughout the post-war period. Mind you, I'm not talking about an end to Anglo-Saxon rule, although I don't rule it out. Bretton Woods marked the fall of the British Empire, but not the end of the Anglo-Saxon rule. We simply had a real or perceptive shift of the center of power from London to Washington. However, just as the world changed after Bretton Woods, so it is going to change after Elizabeth's death. For better or for worse remains to be seen. It's true that the Shemitah has a character of a great restart, and it's clear that Uncle Klaus and company, you know what we mean, WF, are in a hurry to make their reboot, ardent supporters of which are the new king. Charles III is, as we know, a very great globalist, great research WEF person. Now, the reboots, the great resets, are not the only thing going on strike at the Uncle Klaus Forum a long time ago, November 5th, 2020, with a post. One writer said, "Are you ready for the collapse of your own world?" And the writer says, "The world we know it will soon, by 2021, cease to exist. It's been announced by both camps fighting for dominance on the planet. For the globalists and the forces, it is the Great Reset. For the liberal forces of humanity, it's the recovery of stolen freedom and dignity, which will also take place with the restart of economy and social life. Rebooting the forces of enslavement follows the well-known line of artificial crisis, direction, reaction, pre-decided, and in your absence solution is extremely painful. Diseases, food crisis, wars, chaos, etc., and energy crisis, etc., and has devastating human consequences. Rebooting the liberation force along the lines of revealing the truth, social consciousness, and free will, together finding solutions and rebuilding the world is completely painless except for the shock of the revelations, which is absolutely necessary, and it has beneficial consequences for humans: eradication of diseases, free energy, abundance of goods, and world peace. This transformation of the world may not be complete in 2021, but this little matter, as the course is irreversible. Although the signs are overwhelming that we are heading for a reboot of the forces, I still believe that in the end, the reboot will be that of the forces of liberation. After all, Shemitah means liberation, absolution, and cancellation. In any case, Uriah 7 plus 7 equals 14 to the 0 point. And this is from Elas magazine, and I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.